In the hour before dawn, while Petra is still steeped in that particular kind of darkness that gathers in deep canyons like water at the bottom of a well, Rami wakes in his home carved directly into the pink-red rock, and the first impression greeting him is neither sound nor light, but the coldness of the stone surrounding him on every side. Stone that lost all the warmth it absorbed from the previous day's sun during the night, and now returns it in the form of a cold, almost damp touch against his skin. His home, like the homes of most residents of this city carved into the heart of the desert mountains, is not a building in the sense someone from outside would understand. It is a space hollowed directly out of living rock, a space that breathes together with the mountain, that keeps coolness in summer and, with a little fire, holds warmth in winter, a space whose walls carry within them layers of color that geology created over thousands of years before any human hand raised a chisel to shape them into a home. He rises in the dark, for the window carved into the rock faces a narrow passage the sun does not reach until later in the morning, and he lights a small oil lamp whose flame immediately casts flickering shadows across the walls of the room, revealing shades of stone hidden during the day by the harsh light of the desert sun layers of red, pink, almost violet, interwoven with thin veins of white that look almost like veins of marble, but which are, he knows, simply the result of centuries of mineral deposits through stone that was once sand at the bottom of an ancient sea. The first sound he hears, even before leaving his home, is the distant sound of water dripping somewhere deep within the system of channels his people, the Nabataeans, built over centuries to capture every precious drop of rain that rarely falls in this dry land and redirect it through a network of cisterns and channels all the way to the city, making possible the existence of this great community in the midst of what would otherwise be a completely uninhabitable desert. This sound of water, so quiet a stranger might miss it entirely, is for Rami the sound of survival itself, a sound carrying within it generations of engineering knowledge and careful management of a resource more valuable than any gold passing through his hands in trade. He steps out of his home onto the narrow passage leading toward the center of the city, and the air greeting him carries that particular coldness of the desert night that has not yet fully withdrawn before the approaching day. A coldness that will be completely forgotten within a few hours once the sun reaches its full intensity above the canyon, but which now, in this transitional hour, carries within it something almost gentle, like the night's last touch before it fully withdraws. His path takes him through the narrow, winding canyon that serves as the main entrance to the city, a passage whose walls rise on both sides so high that even at noon sunlight reaches only in thin, dramatic strips cutting through the darkness like golden swords. In this early hour, before light has even begun to penetrate the depths of the passage, the sick is entirely in shadow, and Rami walks through it, guided more by memory and habit than actual sight, knowing every turn, every unevenness in the stone path after years of passing this same route nearly every morning of his adult life. The sounds of his footsteps echo off the high canyon walls, multiplied and prolonged by the acoustics of a space naturally formed to carry sound in a way human construction rarely achieves, and he feels, as he always feels passing this way, the smallness of his own existence compared to the immensity of the rocks surrounding him. Rocks that have stood here for thousands of years before any man passed through them, and which will, without doubt, stand for thousands of years after he and everyone he knows are gone. At the end of the sick, where the narrow canyon suddenly opens into a wider space, where the famous treasury, Al-Khazna, stands, its fade carved directly into the rock with a precision and beauty that always, even after countless passages, manages to take his breath away. Rami pauses for a moment, as he always does, to watch the first rays of sun begin to touch the top of the structure, gradually descending along the columns and ornaments until the entire fade is bathed in warm golden light. that makes the pink stone seem almost alive, almost as if it were breathing. This is a moment he shares with thousands of other residents of the city who pass this same route every morning, but which never becomes ordinary, never loses its ability to summon a moment of pure, unthinking wonder before the daily concerns of trade and work reclaim his mind. His destination this morning is the great square at the center of the city, where caravans gather and disperse, where goods from every direction of the known world are exchanged under the watchful eye of Nabataean traders, whose reputation for honesty and reliability has built a network of trade relations stretching from Arabia to the Mediterranean, from Egypt to Mesopotamia. Rami is charged today with receiving a caravan arriving from the south, carrying frankincense and myrrh from the distant lands of Arabia, goods whose value exceeds almost everything else passing through the hands of this city's traders, goods so precious they are kept in specially marked, sealed bags throughout the entire long journey through the desert. While waiting in the square, he watches the city waking around him in its full bustle, water carriers hurrying toward the cisterns, merchants opening their small stalls along the main street, children running between the legs of adults carrying messages or small errands for their families, all beneath the constant, almost hypnotic sound of wind streaming through the canyons and rocks, a sound so constant it becomes nearly inaudible. Part of the very silence of the city, the caravan arrives around midday, dusty and weary from the long journey through the desert, the camels groaning under the loads they carry, the guides and guards looking exhausted, but also visibly relieved to have finally reached the safety of the city after weeks spent exposed to the dangers of the desert bandits, sandstorms, water shortages that could quickly turn a triumphant journey into a tragedy. Rami greets the caravan leader, a man named Salih, whom he knows from previous journeys, with a formality and warmth characteristic of relationships built through years of mutual trust and profitable cooperation. Negotiations over price and division of the cargo last for hours, conducted with the attention and patience characteristic of Nabataean trading tradition, where every transaction is treated not merely as an economic exchange, but as an act of building and maintaining a relationship that, if properly nurtured, will bring benefits to both sides for many years to come. Rami offers Salih and his men cool water and dates as they talk, a gesture of hospitality deeply rooted in the culture of his people, a culture that built an entire civilization on the ability to make the desert passable, to turn the uncertainty of travel into a network of reliable destinations where a traveler can rest, drink, and trade in safety. As the afternoon wears on, the work of dividing and storing the cargo of frankincense and myrrh continues in the great storerooms carved into the rock a short distance from the main square, spaces that remain cool even during the hottest hours of the day, perfect for preserving sensitive goods that could be damaged by direct exposure to the desert sun. Rami oversees this process with the attention of a man whose reputation and survival depend on the accuracy of every calculation, every assessment of quality, every agreement on price that must be fair enough to sustain future business relationships, yet profitable enough to justify the risk and effort invested in the entire venture. At one point in the afternoon, while pausing from work to drink a little water from a nearby cistern, Rami stops to watch the play of light and shadow on the canyon walls surrounding the city, a phenomenon that changes hour by hour as the sun shifts its angle, revealing and concealing different layers of color in the rock, creating a sight that is never quite the same 2 days in a row. Even though the city itself, with its buildings and roads, remains entirely unchanged, this thought that the stone itself, the earth itself, is constantly transforming before his eyes even while human structures remain static, always brings him a quiet sense of peace, a reminder that even the most enduring human construction is only a temporary guest on a much older and much more patient stage. As the afternoon turns to evening, and the temperature finally begins to drop from its daily peak. The city undergoes another transformation. Rami particularly loves the light that was sharp and white during the day, becomes warm and golden, illuminating the city's rocks in shades ranging from deep orange to almost violet, while the shadows grow longer and softer. And the whole city seems to breathe a deep sigh of relief after the intensity of the day's heat. Rami finishes his business for the day with a shared meal with Sally and the other caravan leaders. A meal consisting of roasted lamb, bread, dates and wine imported from the Mediterranean coast, eaten in a space carved into the rock that serves as a kind of trading house for visitors to the city, where business and hospitality mix imperceptibly into a unique social ritual. Conversation during the meal moves from trade matters towards stories of distant lands, of wonders seen during travels, of rumors arriving from Rome about new emperors and new policies that might affect the trade routes, forming the very foundation of their city's survival. After the meal, while the caravan's guests retire to rest in rooms prepared for them, Rami lingers a while longer outside, enjoying the transitional moment between day and night when the air is at a perfectly pleasant temperature, neither too warm nor too cool, and when the first stars begin to appear above the narrow strips of sky visible between the high canyon walls surrounding the city. He walks slowly back toward his home, unhurried, allowing himself to savor this rare moment of peace after a demanding day of negotiations and physical labor storing goods. The city at night has an entirely different character from the city. By day, the sounds are more muted. Light comes only from occasional fires and oil lamps, flickering from the openings of carved homes, forming a network of small points of warmth scattered across the dark face of the rock, like stars that have somehow fallen from the sky and found their home within the mountain itself. Passing again through part of the sick on his way home, since his home lies in a part of the city requiring passage through a smaller section of this famous canyon, Rami raises his eyes toward the thin strip of sky visible high above, where the stars are now fully visible, clear and bright in a way possible only in places far from any source of artificial light besides the city's own fires. This strip of sky, framed by the high canyon walls on both sides, looks almost like a river of light flowing above him, a river moving with such slowness that its motion is invisible over the course of a single night, but which, he knows from his own experience and the stories of his elders, slowly shifts through the seasons, carrying different constellations across this same narrow strip of sky at different times of the year. When he finally reaches his home, the fatigue from a day spent in negotiations and physical labor begins to settle into his muscles, but it is a satisfying fatigue, the fatigue of a man who has spent his day productively, who has contributed, in his own small but meaningful way, to maintaining the network of trade and relationships that makes the existence of his city possible in the midst of a desert that would otherwise be entirely hostile to human life. He enters his home and lights a small oil lamp, its flame casting familiar shadows across the walls of the stone room, and sits for a moment before retiring to rest, thinking about the day that has passed and the day to come, about the caravans that will continue arriving and departing, carrying goods and news and stories from every corner of the known world, connecting his city, hollowed into the heart of solitary desert mountains, to a network of civilization stretching farther than any single man could ever personally visit. Outside, the wind continues its eternal song through the canyons and rocks, a sound that has accompanied this city since the first builder raised the first chisel against the living rock, a sound that will continue long after Rami and everyone he knows become just another layer of story carved into stone that remembers everything, that has seen everything, and that will continue to stand patient and unchanging, while the stars above continue their slow, eternal movement across the narrow strip of sky that is, for this city and its people, the only window into the infinity existing beyond the boundaries of the stone surrounding them on every side, like an embrace that is at once shelter and reminder of their own, ultimately small role in the long story of time.